Hey guys, welcome back to Gulfside Baitworks. Today we're doing a full review of all of the Swamp Trout molds because we actually now have a discount code from Gulfside Baitworks to get a 15% discount on Swamp Trout molds on his website. So stay to the end and we will tell you what that gift code is. Or I'll probably also just put it at the bottom. So, if you don't want to stay to the end, thanks for dropping by. But if you do stay to the end, you'll get to see each mold and what they do. So I've got us broken up into two sets here. The ones we're going to pour in craw tube and the ones we're going to pour in swim bait blend. We're going to do the craw tube ones first. I got plastic in the vac right now. It's the remelt from our indoor video. So that's what we're going to be pouring in these. So in our first set here, we're going to check out the, and this is going to be our craw tube side. We're going to check out a few different molds here. We've got, first off, clean it out a bit there. We've got the big boy, one of the big boys. This is the SGS. This is actually a collaboration mold between Swamp Trout Baits and Goblin Baits. And they actually modeled this off of a real live shad that they preserved and modeled it off. I believe his Swamp Trout's Creek Stalker big giant lipless crankbait is also modeled off the same one. And there's also a bait that Goblin Baits, glide bait Goblin Baits makes, I believe, that's modeled off the same fish. So it's a pretty cool collab. So that'll be our first one. This bait is 6.5 inches long. It uses a 10-aught to 12-aught bait, hook, and we're going to be using a screw lock swim bait hook, and you can use it either weighted swim bait or not weighted swim bait. I think the suggestion is a weighted swim bait, but I personally use sinking plastic. I use dead-on plastic, and with the sinking plastic, I find that you can get away with with a non-weighted hook, and it sinks and swims just fine. So you can go either way on that one. So that's the first one. The next one here, and once my plastic's ready, we'll pour each of these. I'm going to go over these, then we'll pour them. My next one here, the other big boy, this is the ST6. This is one of my favorite ones to pour. I've poured a lot of ST6s. If you've watched the channel, you've probably seen that. This one is 6.5 inches, and again, like the SGS, uses a 10-aught to 12-aught screw lock swim bait hook. It's the same thing, weighted or unweighted. That's up to you. If you're using neutral or floating plastic, you probably want to go weighted. But both of these have a big, crazy tail kick. They're awesome. Love them. And next, we've got some of his non-swim bait. First off here, we've got the hair on it from my beard. All right, we've got the Creek Shot. This bait is actually designed as a chatterbait trailer. So when you want to use it as a chatterbait trailer, we pour it in craw tube so it lasts. I have actually also put this on a 6-aught hook and treated it like a jerkbait, though now we have a version of this with a hook slot, so you can just use a proper sized hook for it instead of something real big that goes all the way back. But yeah, so that's that one, and we're going to pour these all in just a minute here. And now one more for our heavier plastic ones, and that is the Cthulhu. This is his creature bait. Now the Cthulhu is 4.5 inches long. Oh, and this, sorry, I didn't mention this. These are the Creek Shots are 5 inches long. Cthulhu, 4.5 inches long. It is suggested to use a 5-aught EWG hook. And when I got the molds for him, he sent me some EWG hooks, and they were unweighted. So the ones he sent me looked like a screw lock hook, like a swim bait hook with no weight. But EWG is what he suggests for them, so that is what we've got on that one. So we're going to get ready and pour these 4, and then we'll come back, look over these, and go through these as well. Oh yes, I did not mention the 2 big boys use 15 millimeter eyes, and a few of his other ones we're going to look at later do as well. And we're going to be using 8 millimeter eyes on the creek shot. All right, so I'm going to get these ready to pour, and we will be right back to pour them. All right, we're back. Got my plastic ready, and I realized that I had put the ST5 in the wrong pile. So the ST5 is also a mold that we're going to be using with craw tube. This one is a 5-inch long. It's designed for an 8/0 hook, and it uses 15 millimeter eyes. This one is actually probably the one I throw the most often. These are awesome molds. For our plastic, you know, I mentioned that I had the leftovers from our indoor video. I wanted to pour these in an 8-bit just because I want you to be able to see how great they show off color. So let's go ahead and pour these bad boys. So we'll do the ST5 first. There's our ST5. Now our SGS Custom, or SGS Collab. And once these are done and you get to look at them, you're really gonna get to see how they have really good angles to show off colors. So I think that is awesome, and we're gonna check all these out once they're done. All right. Next up, the ST6. All right. We'll see if we can get all of these done with 1 cup of plastic. The ST6 takes a lot of plastic. I'll tell you what, it is huge. This and the SGS are huge, and you can cast them to like the end of the earth. They really go because they're heavy. I bring my my heavy duty saltwater rod out when I use these. Same thing I do when I fish with my glide baits. I actually broke a rod the other day with a swamp trout glide because the rod I was using was too light for the glide bait. All right, we're just gonna pour 1 of these because I actually no, we're gonna have to get some more plastic. I don't think I'm gonna be able to pour everything with this cup. All right. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to get some more plastic to finish pouring, so we'll be right back for that. All right, we're back. Got some hot plastic. This time we are gonna pour, that's the wrong glove, I need the other one, there we go. This is 8-Bit Baits Lich King. It's a 1/4 teaspoon in 1/2 cup of plastic, 5 drops Lureworks Black. I did not mention what the ratios on our bigger ones here were before. That was indoor, and you're looking a cup of plastic, 5 drops of black, and a 1/16. That's what gave us those. So let's go ahead and pour these, and then we will get to the other ones. All right, here we go. And I pour these pretty hot. I'm usually pouring between 350 and 380, sometimes even hotter than that because I'm using dead on. I've gotten the plastic to 400 and poured it in these molds a few times. I don't do it on purpose, but it does happen, and the molds don't care. They seem to handle it just fine. So if you're worried about durability, I pour these molds almost every single day. Probably 4 to 5 times a week. Let's say that. I pour something from one of these molds and they handle it just fine. So yeah, I mean, durability wise, no issues there. Now this one I'm pouring now is the Cthulhu. And like I said, the suggested to pour this is craw tube, but I will say if you're not using them to punch, you could pour them with lighter plastic. I've poured these with every kind of plastic. I've even poured some in work blend just so I could get the tail to really flap, and I was bouncing them off the bottom on a swing head jig. So you do have a lot of choice there. Same thing with the creek shots. You know, he designed this for a chatterbait trailer, so he's using craw tube. But if you want to fish them some other way, you can absolutely pour them with a lighter plastic and it's fine. It works just fine. So get a lot of choice there. All right, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna set these aside. I'm gonna warm up plastic for my other 3 molds here, and we'll pour those, and then at the end we'll go over each mold and we'll go over again their stats. So I'm gonna set these aside and we'll be right back. All right, my plastic for the other ones is heating or in the vac. So real quick, we're gonna talk about our other molds here. So we got 3 more molds. I believe that makes 8 total of the Swamp Trouts. The next one is the ST4. This one is a 4-inch. It looks very similar to the ST5, but it's just smaller. And this one is a 2 cavity, as are the creek shots are also 2 cavity. This one takes a 3/0 hook, and it has 15 millimeter eyes, just like the big ones. Next up, we've got the creek shot with hook slot. So this one is a creek shot mold, just like the one we poured a minute ago, but it has a hook slot on it. I like this one a lot. I like to use it use it in replacement of a jerkbait, and actually because it's rounded, it skips really well. So I actually, you know, I do a lot of saltwater fishing, and I'll actually skip this up under mangroves and under docks because it's a really great shape for skipping. So that's that one. Now my last one is a recent addition. It's not the newest one. The newest one is the Cthulhu, but a recent addition, and this one is the Creek Shot or Creek Snack. This one is 4.5 inches long. It's designed for a 5/0 hook, and it uses 8 millimeter eyes. This one's pretty cool. I caught a nice bass on this one before this mold was released. He actually sent me one of these before he had released it to the general public to make a video on, and I caught a creek bass with the Creek Snack, so that was cool. So now my plastic should be about done, so I'm going to pull it out, add some color to it, and then we will pour some baits. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back, ready to pour these. I just whipped up a kind of quick and dirty version of my Blue Craw Gold Shad. So that's what we're going to pour these in. If you're interested in that colorway, my video, I believe, where I did a full review on the ST4 has the recipe for this in it, though today I added some sunfish, which I have not made it that way before. I like to keep my colorways mixed up and, you know, try different things. I'm always trying different things here. But anyway, so let's start with the ST4, and our plastic is real hot, as you can see it. But yeah, so that is just let's put it more out of the way. That is just sunfish, and then not sunfish, it's warmouth, and then I got some blue rupees and blue craw for our tops, and that's what we're pouring these in. Yeah, nice hot plastic. You do want to make sure your plastic's nice and hot so you get a good tail fill on these. The tail is pretty small. All right. You know, but like I said before, I like pouring my plastic hot in these silicone molds anyway. So, you know, and you know, if you're new to the channel and you see that we're not letting them cool and heating them up with a heat gun or anything, you know, that's this is just a technique I like doing for pouring soft plastics in silicone molds. Something you can do with all of these swamp trout molds and anybody else that makes soft plastic or silicone molds as well. All right, cool. So now let's do the creek shot with hook slot. You know, in this one again, today we're pouring it in swim bait blend. You could absolutely, if you wanted a softer bait with like real wiggly, you could pour these in worm blend. I've done it, and it works just as good. You know, if you don't mind them, you know, getting torn up easier, that is an option as well. All right. Little tails are always hard for me to pour. There we go. All right, and now our creek snack. Now I will say this plastic is not quite perfectly hard enough for this. The suggestion from Swamp Trout is actually 50-50 between swim bait blend and craw tube to get the perfect tail action from this mold. So keep that in mind if you want to pour these. These are kind of like a smaller version of the SGS. They look very similar to the SGS collab mold, just smaller. But they pour really well. There we go. I've actually even got, if you go to my Instagram and scroll back, the day that I did the introduction to these, I actually poured these, and I took 2 cups and poured like this, and I had a yellow tail and then a similar colorway to this on this side. So these pour really great. So yeah, now we will wait for all of these to cool, everything to cool, and then we will come back and go through everything. So that'll take a few minutes, so I'll be back in just a bit. All right, everything is all cooled off. I'll set these out of the way, and we're going to check out all the baits. So let's start out with the big boys. So first off, we've got our SGS SGS collab mold. All right. Now, I believe all the molds are $40 on their website. You'll have to double check. I'll have to double check with that, you know. But like I said, at the end of the video here, I'm going to give you a coupon code and you'll be able to get 15% off. But yeah, check this out. See how you change the angles. You can see all the different colors. So that's the biggest one. That's the SGS Custom, the one that they actually molded this off a real shad that had been preserved. And so again, this one is 6.5 inches long, uses a 15mm eye, and it takes 10-aught to 12-aught hooks. And those are going to be swim bait hooks. So that's our first one. That's our SGS collab mold. Now, our next big boy, one that I throw pretty often and very far because they're heavy and they really go. This one is the ST6. This is 6.5 inches, and again, same as the SGS Custom, uses 10 to 12-aught hooks, 15mm eyes. Yep, there we go. All right. Now, next up, let's do our ST5. I think this one's probably my favorite. I feel like I mentioned that already. I throw this one a lot. It's just a really good size and shape. and just look at how it shows off colors. Yeah, love this one. This one is a 5-inch, and it's designed for an 8/0 hook. Now, I've actually used 6/0 hooks with these as well, and they work fine. But 8/0 gets you all the way back to the back of that hook slot. 15 millimeter eyes as well on this one. All right. Yeah. So next up, let's do our Cthulhu. So here's our Cthulhu, and that one yeah, look at how it shows off all the colors. You see some purples in there, you see some green, or not greens, like cyan, turquoise, blue. But this one, it's got such great angles on it that you just see everything. So yeah, I like that one a lot. This one is 4.5 inches, designed for a 5/0 EWG hook. You know, but like I said, if you want to, like I like making them in a lighter plastic, like a worm blend, and putting them on a swing head so they just flop like crazy. You know, but for punching, craw tube. So yeah, there you go. That's the Cthulhu. All right, next let's look at our creek shots. So these are the original creek shot. This is the one designed for, and you can just pick off any little extra you got there. But yeah, this is the one that's designed to be a chatterbait trailer. And the creek shot uses 8 millimeter eyes. All right. Yep. And I got another one in a different plastic here. So that one was the in Bespin Holo Shift, and this one is in a pixie dust called Lynch King. But yeah, it just, you see how you can move it and you get all those different colors and different angles. They're just really well designed. You know, and just so you know, I'm not getting paid to tell you guys about these. He just said, hey, you want to do a coupon code for my website? And I was like, hey, yeah, I do. I love your stuff. So he's not paying me to tell you this. This is what I legitimately think about these things. So next set up, our Creek Snack. Here we go. Oh yeah, look at that guy. And you see when I pour them hot, I get a mixture in there. Swamp Trout also sometimes pours his this way as well. So it's definitely a way that works well with these kind of molds. But yeah, you know, I mentioned earlier, this guy's kind of like a smaller, not quite identical, but a similar profile to the SGS, a little bit different face. And on this one, we are using, it's a 4.5 inch bait, 5/0 hook, and a 8 millimeter eye. You know, a 5/0 hook gets you all the way back. You can get away with a 4/0 as well. But yeah, there you go. All right, now let's check our ST4s. All right, a little messy making these, but you could just pick it right off. You don't want to shove your fingernail in like on an aluminum mold. You know, these are silicone. You could definitely gouge out a hole if you shove it in there too hard, so don't do that. But yeah, there we go. So these are 15 millimeter eye, so a big eye on these. They're designed for a 3/0 hook, and you know, I actually sometimes put these on a chatterbait. I've fished these on a chatterbait. I've also fished these on an underspin. They're not really meant for that because they got the big hook slot, but if you want to, you can. I've done it. But yeah, so there we go. That's this one. And did I mention these are 4 inches long? I got another one of these as well here. This one I've made a big mess with. So yeah, there's the other one. Made this one a little more messy on the back here, but that's easy enough to just pick off. Not a big deal to clean them up. But yeah, so there is that one. And last but certainly not least, and you'll see here, I'm gonna try and clean this tail up a bit because I poured these a little messy. This one I think is actually the most recent one that he released, or he could have made these a long time ago and I just didn't know about them, but when he put his website up I saw these. This is the Creek Shot with a hook slot, and these are 4 inches long, or sorry, 5 inches long. I wrote 5-inch EWE, so I think I messed up writing down. I believe this the same size hook slot. Yeah, this one is a 3/0 hook. If you want to put a 3/0 swim bait hook with a screw lock, 8mm eyes, and then you can use these as a jerk bait, especially if you make them with a softer plastic so that tail really wiggles. And again, because they're round, they skip really well, so they work well for that. Yeah, and I got another one here. Let me pull it out, same thing. So yeah, there you go. That is the full current lineup of Swamp Trout Baits. I believe he does have a couple more that was planning on releasing in 2025, so hopefully we'll see those soon. I think he's going to have a 5-inch that's a similar profile to the 6.5-inch. I think that's what it was. So yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff coming from there, from Swamp Trout. You most definitely want to check him out, and my coupon code is Golfside15, and that will get you 15% off on his website, which is, I believe, swamptroutbaits.com. I will of course link that under the video so you can check it out. But yeah, definitely do not sleep on these molds. They are amazing. I love them. I pour them all the time. If you follow me on Instagram, you would know that because I post them all the time. I post a lot of Swamp Trout Baits. So definitely check that out. I'll bring you around here. Let's get the camera to focus here. So we got our Creek Shots with hook slot, regular Creek Shots, our ST4s, the Creek Snack, this ST5, big boy the ST6, even bigger boy the SGS collab mold, and our punching bait the Cthulhu. So yeah, there is our family of Swamp Trout Baits molds. Definitely check them out, and if you liked the video, give us a like. If you disliked it, you can dislike the video. You know, like I said, Golfside15 is the coupon code, so if you want to get 15% off on these molds, throw that into the Swamp Trout's website and you can get 15% off on the molds. If you have any thoughts, definitely throw some comments. If you have any questions about these molds, comment it, let me know. I have poured these molds a lot, and I definitely can help with tips, tricks, anything like that. So throw a comment if you have a question. And thank you for coming by Golfside Baitworks. We'll see you next time.